kafu ababalanda mweunfokulira kw'abantu kasama yusi bonse batingambe abakulu n'abaana bonse bashitata n'abaana bayo banerirawe mwamba kasama ile fire iwe winewe boweshi mwamba leader experience olankane wabomba mwamba Emmanuel bonse bakasama bale fire mwamba Emmanuel bakasama bakulira tule fire mwamba wesu Emmanuel chipani ni PF tule fire mwamba wesu Emmanuel wakuito mwele Emmanuel mwamba ambassador Emmanuel wale fire Emmanuel mwamba ambassador Emmanuel olankane wabomba mwamba Emmanuel bonse bakasama bale fire mwamba Emmanuel bakasama bakulira tule fire mwamba wesu Emmanuel chipani ni PF tule fire mwamba wesu Emmanuel wakuito mwele Emmanuel mwamba ambassador Emmanuel wale fire Emmanuel mwamba ambassador Emmanuel bakasama bakulira tule fire mwamba wesu Emmanuel tule fire mwamba wesu Emmanuel Emmanuel mwamba ambassador Emmanuel Emmanuel mwamba ambassador.
Good day. Today I want us to discuss a few things that are cardinal to this country. When President Cyril Ramaphosa took over government on 16th February 2018, he promised a new dawn for South Africa. He said he would turn the tide of corruption that had, engulfed state-owned enterprises and government. He said he will create jobs, he will create wealth, that he will hasten and speedily deal with land distribution. He talked about a new dawn, a sense of decency and integrity in government. You would not be mistaken if you hear me think that these were similar views by President Hakainde HICHILEMA when he took over government, when he was sworn in on 24th August 2021. Because like Cyril Ramaphosa, President Hakainde HICHILEMA called his government a new dawn government. 5 years later, for President Cyril Ramaphosa, it's been a disaster. He didn't put a tide against corruption. Corruption is worse. Unemployment has risen. The economic crisis is worse than he found it. Load shedding. South Africa has experienced load shedding than it has ever had in the last 24 years. It has been independent. I draw the parallels with President Hakainde HICHILEMA. He's only 16, 17 months in office, but you can see the similarity. Corruption is on the rise. He has failed to handle emerging crises after crises. Look at the health sector. Medicine distribution, it has taken over 1 year for us to even begin to have a trickle of medicine, equipment in hospitals, X-ray machines, CT scans, name them, are not working. And despite the cries of our people, despite the hammering by opposition leaders, by civil society and the church, the president has not attended to the crisis in the health sector. You can pick any sector, agriculture sector, similar crisis. Energy sector, we've had load shedding of 12 hours needlessly when we didn't need to have load shedding because we have adequate power as this country generation capacity demonstrates. He has failed to resolve the crisis at Kasumbalesa. Now trucks are reaching Kitwe. That's business halted. Those are millions of dollars for both our economy and the economy of the DRC, halted and rotting at the border of Kasumbalesa. This is a matter he has failed to attend to again and again. You can see a president struggling who's failing to resolve the crisis. I don't know how he hopes that the crises will just be wished away, that they will go. They will not go. Milling prices are high, and now we have mockery from government. Ahona, the vice president, said we should buy roller meal. The Food Reserve Agency chairperson, Kelvin Ambweza, says Zambians are too used to Nshima, they should buy rice. Does he know the price of rice? Does he know that rice is more expensive? Hasn't he learned that the revolution, French Revolution, that changed France and Europe forever was caused by such remarks? When Queen Marie Antoinette stated that if people can't afford bread, why can't they buy cake? She had no idea that cake costs more than bread. It's this insensitivity towards the national crisis that worries me, that worries all of us. The other day, I raised an issue where there's an environmental protection fund. It's in millions of dollars. And it's been awarded to a company associated with President HICHILEMA to run there. It's under Ministry of Mines. This fund is supposed to repair any emergence damage to the environment by the mining sector. So the contributions come from the mining houses themselves. It's the mining companies that contribute. And since we created it in 1997, this fund is now standing in millions of dollars because it's by law. It's like a tax that these mining companies should pay. And well, they are in the process of picking a fund manager, and one of the best bidded company is a company associated with the president, and I've raised concerns there. I want to take time to discuss a matter of interest by the State House Special Assistant for Finance and Investment, Jito Kayumba. He authored a letter that leaked to the press, dated 2nd February, in which he was inviting the business to come to a meeting at State House with the president. That letter raised a lot of concern. One, it demonstrated lack of representation across the sectors. Number two, the type of people that were invited are close associates of the president. I can cite my dear brother and friend, Muna Hantuva and Diego Casili, who are known friends of the president. They were representing sectors there. I think the major chambers of commerce, chambers of mines, chambers of trade, chambers of manufacturing were not represented. And since we're going to discuss local investors who are really struggling under this economy, I thought that the president will pick local investors, non-thriving business people in this country, but no, none of those were picked, and it's been a matter of debate. But my concern came after. First, I didn't know what to call this meeting. The letter says it's a local meeting by local investors. Then it's been called captains of industry. Then they are saying it has been convened by the Business Coalition Council Emergency Task Force. That task force, many will remember, was formed at the height of COVID, and it was business came together to see how they could attend to the crisis of the pandemic and how they could respond positively so that the economy doesn't collapse. That's now what they are touting as the conveners of the meeting, even when the meeting literally by the letter by Jito Kayumba was convened by State House and by the president. Now, what they discussed and the tone of their resolution, it's like they are not policy proposals. It's like they are not advisory proposals. It's like they are must-be-done proposals. If you look at what they've said about the electricity and petroleum sectors, what they say, changes that should occur to statutory bodies, they are proposing that over about 17 statutory bodies should be trimmed to, I think, a few, under 5 of them. They are even discussed measures to contribute to currency stability. Are they Bank of Zambia? Don't they know that monetary policy is a preserve of the central bank? Not even the Minister of Finance, who's in charge of fiscal policy, can direct what the central bank can do. It's for this reason that the central bank is actually independent in many countries where it enjoys autonomy and cannot be directed, not even by the head of state. But this body is proposing currency stability. It also proposed broad tax changes that should be made. And they make changes to employment legislation and development. And then there are many policy proposals under agriculture, manufacturing, infrastructure, and there are broad proposals under tourism. But President, consultation is important. We applaud you for consulting with the private sector, but do not abuse your office. It shouldn't come under the ambit of a collection of friends. I think that office, is an office for Zambians, and your outlook should always be representative, inclusive in nature. Don't look at friends. Don't tempt people to be PF or UPND. Look at them as Zambians, and if they can contribute to the benefit of our country, go for it. That should where your advice should lie. But this issue of just picking friends, it flies in the face of what the Constitution says, flies in the face of, good corporate governance. And the President is from the corporate sector. He understands good corporate governance. And for us who are in the public and civic space, issues of good governance are very important. The President should avoid rent-seeking behavior, where he is now amenable to corruption, to nepotism, to benefiting friends. It shouldn't be like that, and we have to raise the flag on this. Today was a short video. We thought we could discuss these few items. First of all, the New Dawn government, a parallel between the South Africa's New Dawn government and this New Dawn government, and their subsequent parallel failures, and the failure by the President, slow in making decisions, failure to promptly resolve the crisis that's facing us and facing our economy. That is why some people are calling for his resignation. And it's not even surprising. Liz Truss from UK resigned 6 weeks in office. Boris Johnson, 3 years in office, even when they had constitutional mandates that would take them to 5 years. Mr. President, you better up your sleeves, up your socks. Time is running out. The crises are spotting everywhere. And if there is a time that the country needs proper leadership, it is now. Zambians elected you as our president for the next 5 years. Attend to the issues, attend to the crises. The economy is in deep doldrum, attend to it. Your reliance and dependence on the IMF is not working. The debt restructuring will not work if you exclude China in this process. It's been 16 months since you were promised this IMF bailout, and it hasn't come. Your reliance on foreign investment to resolve our crisis, we will not resolve the crisis of our country. Look inward, look into our domestic revenue, look at the mines, look at our capacity to raise revenue and resolve this deep-seated crisis of unemployment, the highest cost of living in the last 30 years, high fuel prices, food prices, everything is on you, Mr. President. Thank you to dear listeners. Thank you for listening. God bless you. We shall succeed.